invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you will make affects your character and how major factions of Tier respond to you. Your decisions matter, choose wisely. I have a real problem when games are very reliant on choosing the correct well, not really correct options, but there's always a more optimal kind of option you should pick. The Bastard City. Names for its position between realms, the Northern Empire and the Southern Tiers. The Bastard City and its surrounding lands, known as the Bastard Tiers, is a melting pot of cultures and a place of commerce and intrigue. Tiersmen of the South view the Bastard City as a place of wealth and... how much more is there? Wealth and excess. But to the people of the Northern Empire, the Bastard City is little more than a sprawling slum. Tuon, the adjudicator, established his court in the Bastard City from his foothold in the Tier. He and his court of fate binders, I was thinking the armor fate binder, imposed Kyros's law upon the conquered lands. Alrighty. So the Bastard City stood on the northern borders between Kyros's empire. This is all what I just read. No, it's not. Built upon the natural harbour at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce to the Tiers. It was the centre of all wealth to a northerner. It was a little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kyros's military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth, as a soldier in Kyros's armies. Taking the city would send a message to the rest of the Tiers. Kyros will is insurmountable. In the gates of judgment. What's this other one? Infiltrate the Tiers. Both armies sent their forces to prepare the ways. So is that the armies of the Bastard City and Kyros's? I don't know. Here we go. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with the advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus. Each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? So I guess... right, so you pick which one you want to go, which one you want to conscript to. Gates of Judgment. The armies of Kyros took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, triumphing over the opening call over the conquest of the Tiers. The two armies brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to the battle alongside the armies whose approach best suited your strength. Joined the battle alongside the Disfavored. So this one doesn't tell you. This one tells you who the Disfavored are. Battle hardened and Disfavored are elite legions in the Kyros army. They spearheaded the conquest of the young realms, finding themselves... I feel like you really need to know more information prior to all this. Like, it hasn't really told me who the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus are. Scarlet is a little more than a gang of thugs and their captives. So I'd rather be... well, I should read it fully. Rather than organized under the commission officers, the Chorus follow a hierarchy of seemingly ruled by whoever has the bravado to command and defend their position at the head of... I don't want to do that. I'd rather be Disfavored. But I'm going to... this one sounds more like you and have joined the battle. Disfavored, standing shield to shield with Kyros's ironclad elite. You advance onto the mercenary army purchased by the nobles of the Bastard City. The Legion wanted to send a message to the Tiers that superior breeding and disciplined training would win the day. The Bastard City learned too late that the military is earned and never bought. The mercenaries' army quickly found themselves outclassed by the superior tactics and formation of the disfavored. It's a really weird name to have for like a group of like mercenaries or whatnot. The disfavored. Maybe something from Game of Thrones. Those few who lived to the end of the battle were rounded up, the weak executed and the strong enslaved to haul the army's wagon on the journey south. Man, this is taking a really long time. Maybe I should just feeding the host against the most optimistic projections, disfavored and the select chorus, Scarlet Horror chorus, sorry, made short work of the local defense. They did so well that the armies quickly outpaced their supply caravans. Troops were plentiful but food was scarce. You only had time to execute one plan to secure provisions. The soldiers of Tyr fell by the hundreds, and Karus' armies could not agree on how to handle what few survivors they dragged back to the camp. Befitting your role, the commanders turned to you to decide the fate of who occupied the prison cells. There were only enough prisoners to support the plan of a single army. Enslaved. The disfavored needed the slaves to haul their gear. So you pick... oh yeah. So you can conscript them. You gave the prisoners a chance to serve in Karus' army or die. The Scarlet Chorus was in need of extra troops to fill up the vanguard, and your former enemies would occupy those slots nicely. Needed slaves for their gear and keep their pallets warm at night. I kinda like the disfavored. Thinking I might just stick with the disfavored. Slaves, we'll slave them. Prove themselves and become underlings later on, perhaps. Wounded and demoralized by the prior defeat, the soldiers of the Tiers put up a minimal resistance to their new status in Kairos military. The disfavored enjoyed the luxuries of putting others to work, but didn't allow themselves to grow soft, turning away from menial duties and focusing instead on rigorous training regimes that left them alert and eager for combat. You gave the Tier slaves their first assignment, digging a mass grave outside the gates of judgment, where a cloud of flies marked the passage of Kairos' army. Taking the Bastard City. The armies of Kairos amassed around the Bastard City, the first bastion of the Tiers to fall. Both armies longed to storm the walled outposts, the Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder, and the disfavored forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before the total victory. Both of the armies had inspired schemes to take the Bastard City. Which did you support? Taking the Bastard City, assault the main gate, burn the city, sabotage the city's defenses. You led a mixed band of disfavored over the city wall to sabotage the defenses. You kind of want to keep the city. You joined the disfavored vanguard in a direct assault upon the city gates. No fortification would stand before the unstoppable legion. So I get abilities from this. Stand your ground in the face of defeat. During this time you'll generate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. Gather heated energy into your hands and release it onto foes. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. You let a mixed band of disfavored and scarlet over the wall. What's the actual creates a cloud of obscuring shadow and dust. For a short duration, enemies that use physical attacks against you have a significantly increased chance to miss. During this time, your attacks will also be... Seems kind of good for if I'm playing a kind of weak caster class, I think. Let's do that, I think. Seems smart. That was a challenge to found the cooperation of both armies. Their shared interests in taking down the city's defenses allowed your scouts to work as a single unit. Once your forces scaled the wall, a mixture of tactics and savagery destabilized the city's guard, who quickly lost their command over the defenses and were forced to surrender. Lacking the support of archers or siege weapons, the bastard city fell quickly to Kyrus' superior might. So this is just all backstory to my character. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kyrus' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of decorated career to come home. What was that? Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come home. Oh, to come, sorry. Fucking reading ahead. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tyranny sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kyrus' conquest, either as a judge and overseer of the settlements of Lethan's Crossing, or a war advisor with the Apex army advancing into the realm of the Apex. Either a judge and overseer of the settlement. So what's this place? Built in the shadows of the old walls junction in the realm of Haven, Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby river are rich in iron ore, though the locals lack technology to smelt and forge the elements. So what am I doing here? Judge and overseer in settlements of the settlement, or a war advisor. The armies. That kind of sounds more interesting, though, doesn't it? The troops of the mountain realm of the Apex stood idle in safety of their valley, biding their time as their neighbours in the bastard tier fell. In the second year of war, a joint force of the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountain to take control of the tier Central Valley. I don't know. The kinda seems more mage-like. I'm kinda leaning towards Lethan's Crossing. Let's do Lethan's Crossing. Seems like the less interesting one, but seems more mage inclined, I guess. So, more backstory. Wow, it's quite a lot of this. Years ago, Lethian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of the ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and the mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lethan's Crossing drew Kyrus' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kyrus' control, the northern smith mage could set up a workshop to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Tanon dispatched you. Who is Tanon? The adjudicator and the Archon Justice, ruler of the conquered realms, arbiter of disputes. So it's kind of like a judge, I guess. Dispatch you to the travel alongside Kyrus' forces and bring order to the region. more options.